So hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today my friends, I'm very happy to be here to present you another build guide on Path of Exile, and today I'm gonna show you my Cyclone cast while channeling SRS Necromancer build, and yeah, it is a very nice one. You will see it is a very budget build, but before we go for the video, I want to say thank you to Nephilium. If you have already watched some of our build guides, you have already heard this name. He's one of our most loyal viewers, especially when it comes down to Path of Exile, and he's a real expert when it comes down to create builds and special builds that are not meta, and also that he has like crazy ideas and so on. He's really our expert on making them, and I always have fun on reproducing what he's doing on POE to the real game. So thank you at this moment for this, because this was his idea, and I think it came out pretty nice. And as always, I'm just gonna put the POE links into the video description, okay? That means the official POE link and also the fork version, okay? So that you can copy this build as you please. But this time I'm also gonna put, since I have already talked or said that this is like a budget version, I'm also gonna put like a POE link where there is like a bit of more expensive stuff, like 2 or 3 upgrades would make this build even stronger, much stronger, but since I wanted to keep this very cheap for everybody, I'm gonna put those 3 links. So 2 links for this build, exactly what I'm gonna show you, and the third one with 2-3 modifications that are expensive, but what will bring this build to all new level. So I'm gonna tell you that later on when we are at the section with the skill tree, okay? As always, we are gonna start with the pros and the cons, then we go to the skill gem, then to the gear and the flasks, then we are gonna talk about the skill tree and the remainings, and then how I play it, and then lastly I'm gonna show you gameplay at tier 16 map, not juiced. So my friends, let's go for the video, and I hope you enjoy. Let's go. So my friends, here we are at the pros and the cons, and we are just gonna start with the pros. The first pro and the biggest pro, it is that this build, if you want really to copy it, it is very budget friendly. That means it's very cheap, 4 to 5x, and you are good to go. I mean, the whole of my stuff, the jewels, everything was, let's say, if you take like 6x, you 100% you can buy everything on the in one day or in 1 hour. So it is very budget friendly, okay? That means, I mean, 4, 5x or 6x, you're gonna say, yeah, Diaz, but this is like the cost of a 6-link normally. Yeah, but we are not using a 6-link. That's why this is a very cheap build, okay? Secondly, it feels very nice to clear maps, okay, because you're always moving with your Cyclone, and especially with your Stampedes, you are all the time, you are fast, and you will see, and it's a very simple build to play. Really, it is a very simple build to play. You are always moving, and yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the second pro. Then third, it is a defensive build, okay? Not because of the armor, the evasion and so on. No, first of all, it has, as you can see, 6,300 life. I don't know if you can see it because of me. I am maybe in front of it, but 6,300 life. But why am I saying defensive? Because while we are like all the time we are spinning, we are sending SRS, our raging spirits out, okay? We are sending our raging spirits, and those are gonna go to the opponents, and they're gonna explode and make damage. That's actually our first source of damage. So that means you can always stay very far from your from the bosses, from the monsters, and your SRS are gonna go there and they're gonna explode on themselves. Okay, so you don't need any time to get close to any monster in order to kill. Okay, that's second pro, or the third pro, sorry. Then the fourth, it is a unique playstyle. As I said, okay, it is like a bit, I'm gonna call it a bit like an auto bomber, where you go around and your SRS or your skills are just gonna kill everything. Okay. Then the fifth, that's the last. With this build, I mean 4 to 5x, I did serious. Okay, I died one time, and yeah, I died because of my own stupidity. It was at the first phase, even the easiest phase of the fight. Okay, but you can do it for sure. You can try it. Then we are gonna go over to the cons. Yeah, the single target damage is not big. Okay, you will see the bosses are gonna take a bit to die. It's not like any other build in the past leagues where we just melt them down. No, you will have to take a bit more time to kill them. But for sure, with the upgrades that it's shown on the third link, and we are going to talk about it, okay, at the gear section. If you do those 2-3 upgrades, I'm pretty sure you will start to melt down bosses. Okay, you will for sure like multiply your damage by 4 just with 2-3 items on top of this build. Then it is a rippy build, I have to tell you. I don't know if it is because of the new league, they buffed the monsters, the bosses and everything, but it's very rippy if you don't pay attention. If you go to a tier 16 map fully juiced and you go up front of your zombies, it's not gonna work, okay? Because if you get hit by an explosion or so, you will die very fast. So if you do it defensive, you see a pack of monsters or bosses, you say, okay, I'm gonna stay distant. You just channel and your SRS are just gonna, or your raging spirits are just gonna kill the monsters and bosses. Then you are very or you're good to go. Then the last of the cons of this section, it is that this build can do almost every mod on maps, but it can do any regen. No regen map. I mean, I wouldn't do them because you really rely on the regeneration of mana, of life and so on. So if you roll that, I would re-roll your map. Otherwise, all of the other maps should be no problem, since you're not leeching, since even elemental reflection or physical reflection, no problem. You just need to pay attention that you are not hitting people with your Cyclone. Okay, it's gonna take a while, but you can do all of those maps. So that was it with this beautiful section, and now we are gonna go for the skill jumps. Let's go. So my friends, here we are at the skill jump section of this video, and we are just gonna start with the main weapon. The first thing, we are using a portal, a clarity level 20. Okay, here it's level 19 because I didn't level it up, but you can go for sure for level 20. You can afford it, no problem. Then summon Skitterbots level 20, quality 20. Okay, then our helmet. So here I'm just gonna talk a bit over the gear section of this video. As you can see, it is a 6-linked helmet. Why? Because you see the 2 first lines, socketed gems, are supported by level 16 Kong effect, and the second one like 20 minion life. Okay, that's actually our 2 skill gems on our helmet, but under another form. Okay, then we have them linked with our SRS or SRS Summon Raging Spirit 2020, but if you can afford 21, 23, always, okay? Then our Infernal Legion support, we are gonna keep it at level 20. Why are we not gonna quality it? Because if we quality it, minions from supported skills take reduced fire damage. We don't want that, because we want our summoned raging spirits to pop all the time, okay? We want when they get to their enemy, they explode instantly, and we want to spam them, okay? That's why we are gonna keep that at level 20. Then Casual Channeling Support 2020, Cyclone 2020. You can for sure also go for a Cyclone of level 16. Why? Because what is very important on the Cyclone, it is the maximum of 6 stages, because per stage we or our Cyclone is gonna be bigger, okay? And now you're gonna say, wow, but Diaz, we are not making much damage with Cyclone, or almost none. Why? Because the other ring, curse enemies with elemental weakness on hit with 32 increased effect, okay? That means we want to also hit bosses and bigger monsters so that we can curse them on hit, okay? And so that we don't need to get too close to them, we need like +6 to the radius per, or I mean +1 to radius per stage. That means 6 radius at total or at max. Then yeah, we have talked about those. Then we go to our shield, where we have a 2020 Frostbling, a 2020 Defiance banner, and a 20 Vitality, okay? We are not qualitying it, what you can, but it is only increased area of effect. We are no aura bot, so we don't care. Body armor, no sockets, or yeah, no skill gems. Then we go to our pair of gloves, where we have our Summon Stone Golem 2020, and then the Feeding Frenzy support 2020. Now you're gonna say, oh Diaz, why are you going for Feeding Frenzy? Since Feeding Frenzy doesn't really make our minions stronger and so on, but what we want, it is that minions from supported skills are aggressive. Okay, because no matter what, with this support gem, our minions, as soon as some monsters are around us, they are gonna attack them. Okay, now you're gonna say, yeah, Diaz, but you attack them and they are just gonna follow you. Yeah, but no, this has also a defensive aspect. Why? I'm gonna show you that really quick, because on our skill tree we have those 2 medium cluster jewels, where we have hulking corpses, okay? One added passive skill is hulking corpses. We have them twice, okay? And if we check what it is, race zombies have 5% chance to taunt enemies on hit. That means we have 10% chance to taunt on enemies. Very often the minions are gonna ignore you because they are gonna attack our zombies. Okay, so that's a very nice aspect, and I think that we have also a jewel. No, yeah, our ghastly jewel, where chance to blind on hit also. That means if they are aggressive, they're gonna like start to blind everybody. And here we have also on our ghastly eye jewel, we have on top 5% chance to taunt on hit with attacks your minions. That means 15%, so they are taunting all the time. So that's about it. Then we have our cast 1 damage taken 2020 and our race zombie on 2020. Then lastly, we are gonna talk about the pair of boots. We have our Arcanist brand at level 4. It's more than enough. Keep it there, 4 and quality 20. Then we have our flammability 2020, our combustion 2020, and hex touch support 2020. So that's about the skill gems, my friend. Just copy my this layout and you're good to go. So and now let's go and talk about the gear and the flasks. Let's go. So my friends, now we are gonna talk about the gear and the flasks, and I mean we have already talked a bit about the gear on the past section on the skill jams, but now we are just gonna talk about it. So as weapon we have a noble claw. Why? Because of the implicit plus 40 life gain for each enemy hit by attack. That's a nice leech. Okay, it's a nice bonus, but you will have to use a claw. Okay, why? Because it has the best implicit for our purposes. Okay, then we want like minions have increased maximum life, and minions deal increased damage. That's one only prefix. Okay, what is very nice. And also what is very important to tell you, very important, because before we go on, always check that you don't do any fire damage, okay, on hit with your Cyclone. So here we want or lightning damage, or we want cold damage, stuff like that. Okay, we don't want fire damage. Why? We are just gonna talk again about the skill tree section, because of this elemental equilibrium. Okay, that means if we hit some monsters or so, we are gonna hit them with cold damage, let's say. So enemies you hit with elemental damage temporarily get plus 25% resistance to those elements. That means to cold damage, and minus 50% resistance to other elements. That means to fire damage, for example. And since our raging spirits that pop, they pop for fire damage. That means, you know it, that means they are gonna make much more damage to those monsters or bosses. So what is very important to not mess it up, always check your Cyclone that there is lightning damage or cold damage. Very important. Okay, so then yeah, that's about it. We have chance to blind the enemies on hit. That's just bonus. Then on our helmet, very important, conk effect and minion life. That's what we want. Okay, then we have, if we can afford it, we are gonna go for minions have increased maximum life. That's actually our first, how to say, our first data or mod to give us more damage. Okay, that means minions have increased maximum life. That's very nice. Okay, for our damage. And then we have resistances and life if you can afford it. I couldn't. Okay, then as shield we have the Maligaro's lens. Now you're gonna say, whoa Diaz, why take this shit? I mean, minus 50% to all elemental resistances, then nearby allies recover 1%. What is this? We go to the skill tree and we see here this one, Necromantis Aegis. All bonuses from an equipped shield apply to your minions instead of you. That means this is like it was equipped to your minions, and if you remember, we want our minions to pop very fast, okay, to die, we don't care. So minus 50 to all elemental resistance, very nice. And every nearby allies, that means we or me or you, our character, recover 1% of your maximum life when you die. That means they're popping and you are leeching, or yeah, you're getting life. That means this shield is really nice. You can buy it for 2-3 chaos, no problem. Okay, then we have our Tavukai coral amulet. Okay, what we are looking most on it is summon raging spirits have like 100% increased maximum life. Go for the most. That's the most important on this one. Okay, the increased damage is also okay, but the most important is increased maximum life on this. Okay, go for the top, and then you can see here that it is at 118. Why? Because I have quality it 20% with life and mana modifiers. Okay, with the catalysts. Okay, the red catalysts. Yeah, and we can also like talk here about implicit. We are allocating Grave Pact. okay? And then also, before I forgot, on our pair of boots, we are allocating Whispers of Doom, okay? Very important. This should be 3 golden oils, okay? So, and then our Calm's Heart, we don't care. I mean, we don't care about the fire damage. You just take the cheapest one. It doesn't matter. Then, on the pair of rings, I mean, they're life, if you can afford it, mana, and resistances, because the rings are very important to cap your resistances, okay? So, and to all attributes, that's also very nice, because you need dexterity for your build and so on, okay? And then on the other ring, what we want is curse enemies with elemental weakness on hit with 32% increased effect. Okay, now you're gonna say, yeah, but yes, we are we are already using, where is it? Before I tell you, yeah, Darken's brand, so we are already cursing our enemies, but we can go for 2 curses at the same time. Why? Because of the anointment on the pair of boots here, the Whispers of Doom. I can show you very, very quick here. Where is it? Whispers, you can apply an additional curse, that's why, okay? So we want that on our ring, and life, mana, resistances, whatever you can. Then on our pair of gloves, minions deal increased damage, is a nice mod, but what you want is life and resistance as much as you can, okay? Then very important, our belt. This, if I remember right, it is the most expensive gear, the piece of gear that we have. It's the replica, very important. Not the Siegebreaker, the normal, but the replica. Why the replica? Because the one is your minions spread burning ground on death, dealing 20% of their maximum life as fire damage per second. This is this one, and the other is the same with chaos damage. Since we are scaling everything with fire damage, go for the replica Siegebreaker. Very, very important, okay? This, I remember I paid 2x for this, if I remember right. Then the Stampedes, okay? You go for the one that you can afford. There is not really something very important for us. And that was it with the gears, okay? I mean, the Flasks, as you know, they were pretty much nerfed, and so to be honest, I would even go for 4 life flasks if you want, but at the moment I'm using a granite flask, okay, a quartz flask, okay, with removes the burning. Then I have a divine flask with remove curses. Don't ask me why I'm using Eternal Life Flask, because it looks less boring, okay, but go for Eternal Divine Flask, sorry, it's the best, where I have grant immunity to chill and freeze. This is very important one. This one already like saved my life very often. And then a mana flask, you never know if you get short on mana, normally never, okay, but go for a mana flasks. So that was it with the gear and the flask, and now we are gonna go for the skill tree and the remainings. Let's go. So my friends, on this section we are going to talk about the skill tree and the remainings. We are starting with the skill tree. Actually, it's very simple. You're just gonna copy our POE, okay, and then you're gonna copy all of it. It should be no problem to go for those medium cluster jewels for sure. You're gonna try to go for the adds for passive skills, okay, not for the 5. I have one here, but it's a bit more expensive, but go for it. And yeah, I mean, you go for all of the big nodes. The last thing that I would go for is for the increased maximum life. The rest I would go like you see it here, okay, like on the POE. But since I have told that we have another version, and now I remember that I forgot to tell or like speak about it on the gear section, okay. We have this skill tree on POE that is at level 94. It's our third link, the expensive version. First off, before I'm gonna talk about the skill tree, The only thing that is gonna make a huge difference to our damage, it is if we go for a bone helmet, okay, where we have minions deal increased damage as implicit, and on top of our conk effect and minion life, you have +3 to level of socketed minion gems. That's gonna like really boost our damage. And then if you can summon Raging Spirit, has 18% chance to summon an extra minion. That would be like almost double up our damage on monsters. So if you can afford something like that, why not? But I can show you really quick what this costs at the moment. Yeah, if we go for one like that, 4x to 10x, and this one is only a +1 to level of socket minion gems. What we want is a +3. As you can see, it's 10x, but I have already seen people like selling them for 15, 20x and so on. And as you can see, we have only 2 on the market. Okay, and on the skill tree, what we can improve and what I want to tell you, it is, as you can see, this is like almost identical to ours, only with 3 levels more. But if you go down left, you have like a drop down. Normally you don't see it because of me. Okay, you have a little drop down, wait, like this, sorry. Wait. You have no timeless jewel, and you can go for timeless jewel. You click on it, and boom, this changes. So we have an elegant hubris timeless jewel. So there it is, where it gets a bit more complicated. This changes, like it makes our small nodes in radius like worthless, and our how to say, our medium nodes. Okay, like this one, like the Slumlord, like the Riders army, and so on. All of those bigger circles, it's gonna change. Okay, normally if we take this Fate and Steel, it gives increased armor and so on. And if we put this back, minions have increased maximum life. Okay, increased damage we have here, increased maximum life, and so on. So this can, like, really depends on which number is written there. It can really change every node around there, and you have to find the good number, to be honest, and so that you get nice nodes, so that you can boost your damage to the skies. Okay, but what is very important, go for the one with Caspiro. Okay, the commissioned, the number coins to commemorate Caspiro, nothing else. Okay, so that's what I wanted to tell you. So that was it with the skill tree. So as I said, just copy my POB and you're good to go. I know, and we are gonna talk about the remainings. The remainings is Pantheon. You're gonna go for Soul of the Brine King. I have only the first one because the other two I don't have the map yet. Okay, but it's not a problem. Okay, what is very important is the first one. You cannot be stunned. If you have been stunned or blocked a stunning hit in the past 2 seconds. That's very nice. And then I'm using Karugan. Okay, but you can also go for something else. Okay. So that was it with the skill tree and the remainings, and now we are gonna talk about how I play it. Let's go. So my friends, now how I play it, this is gonna be a very easy section. Okay, actually on my left button I have bone armor. Okay, then on the middle section I have normally nothing. I don't know why it was there. I have nothing. Then Cyclone. Okay, Cyclone on my right button. Then on Q we have nothing. On my W I have my Arcanist brand. On E nothing. On R I have my Frostblink, and then my portal on T. So how I play it, actually, before I start, I activate my Clarity, I activate my Defiance banner, I activate my Summon Skitterbot and my Vitality. And that's it. So while I'm playing, I'm just cycloning the whole map. It doesn't matter, your mana is never gonna go down, okay? when you see, oh, now it's gonna be a bit rippy, or I see a boss coming, or I see a monster coming, or whatever, something that could like kill you, you keep on clicking on right, okay, your Cyclone, but you click one time on left, so that you activate your bone armor, okay, but you keep your Cyclone going, like this, look, I click on left, boom, and he's just gonna stop like one millisecond, or 1 millisecond, half of a second, and you're just gonna go on. Then frost blinking, very nice also. You just keep on cycloning all the time, and when you wanna jump to somewhere else, you click on R and you keep your cycling going. Okay, never stop cycloning. I'm always like cycloning, okay? And I get like close to some monsters just to put my how to say, to curse them with my elemental weakness. Okay, should be elemental weakness, yeah, that I have on my ring. My Arcanist brand, I'm never using it. I'm only using it when I encounter a boss, okay? When I encounter a boss or something a bit more tanky, I just put my Arcanist brand down, and then I hit him, so he has like 2 curses on him, and then normally my SRS are just gonna kill him, okay? That's actually about it. Okay, there is not much to say about it, and now I'm gonna show you a tier 16 not juiced map. Let's go, my friends. So my friends, now we are just gonna start then with a tier 16 map, a courtyard map, just to show you how it works, okay? Normal, not rare, not quality, whatever. So you can compare it to any other build. And there we go. As you can see, we are spinning all the time. I saw those monsters, I left clicked it only to activate my bone armor. And there we go. I frost blink pretty much. I go up front. And you see everything is popping really nicely, because their SRS are making their job really nicely. Look. I mean, it looks really nice. I mean, the clearing really feels amazing. We are fast because of our Stampedes. Let me just open that. Oh, that's good, actually. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna show you until the boss. I'm not gonna do Cassia and so on, because I don't want to overdo this this section. Let me just find the boss. This is just to show you how I play it and how the build behaves. And as you can see, 4-5x, really, that's not a problem. I mean, 4-5x, that's nothing for what we get here. And you can push it pretty much more. Okay, look. And then I put my Arcanist brand. As you can see, we are not really melting down. It still takes a bit to kill bosses. But it's okay, you know. For 4-5x, it's a tier 16. Look, I put my Arcanist brand and it should be done. Well, and that's it. I mean, that was this section. I just wanted to show you very quick how it clears and also how it behaves to a boss on tier 16. So my friends, I hope you liked this this video. I hope you're just gonna copy this this build and maybe even making it stronger. Let me know if you have anything to say in the comment section, or if you liked it, don't forget to like, and to see even more videos, don't forget to subscribe. So my friends, thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day, nice night, and see us on the next video or on the next stream on Twitch. Bye bye my friends, love ya.